Thomas Warrick. He's a former Deputy Assistant Secretary at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. So Trump is saying that these tariffs are going to be great for America. It's going to boost U.S. manufacturing. It's going to protect jobs. It's going to raise tax revenue and grow the economy. But are we witnessing the beginning of a global trade war?
First, Ramadan Kareem to you and all your viewers. I don't know about a global trade war, but certainly the United States finds itself in a whole series of trade disputes with many of the countries that Americans thought were our closest friends around the world. We have deep and close economic ties to Canada and Mexico. Cars go back and forth across the border as they're built, and now if those tariffs go into place in a month, they will be a lot more expensive. Trade with Europe is also going to be significantly affected. And so there will be economic consequences. It's highly speculative as to whether the benefits that President Trump has described will actually show up anytime soon.
We heard Annalena Baerbock say there that it's important for them to stay calm in tense moments like this, but we are slowly seeing this tit-for-tat escalation. How quickly could this get out of hand? I mean, what are the potential global repercussions of Trump's tariffs internationally?
Well, the biggest problem for businesses is uncertainty. They could cope with a particular tariff regime and make their economic plans and hire workers accordingly. But when Trump announces a tariff one day, Canada announces a retaliatory tariff the next day, Trump changes his mind, the Canadians change their mind. Business leaders privately have come to Washington and told every one of us that, look, this is a real problem for us. And then when we say, are you telling this to the Trump administration? All of a sudden, they become very quiet. And so publicly, all economic leaders in the United States are very concerned and don't see that this is going to work out for the better anytime soon. But the hope is that at some point, we will get back to normal relations. No one knows, however, when that will be.
Very interesting. Now, with Trump somewhat normalizing relations with Russia and starting what has been dubbed, at least, as this trade war, there seems to be this growing consensus, particularly among European countries, that the powerhouse of the free world needs to change. How realistic is that?
Well, first of all, I think everyone in Europe and indeed in the United States expects that the current policies will change, either when the White House changes hands in 4 years. So this is, for most people, just a temporary problem. But obviously, in things like the war in Ukraine, there's an urgency to try to provide weapons from European states to Ukraine to try to strengthen Ukraine's hand during the peace talks that are likely to get underway very soon. So for a while, at least, European countries are going to have to do more for their own defense. And I have no doubt if they do, that Trump will cite this as a success of his policy of getting Europe to stand up more for its own defense.
Indeed. Thomas Warrick, thank you so much for being with us here on TRT World and sharing that insight with us. I appreciate it.